Venezuela is often the weapon of choice of the right wing to accuse the left, to accuse especially communists and socialists. Whenever I say I'm a communist, I immediately get this, why don't you go live in Venezuela? Socialism doesn't work because of Venezuela. You know, this kind of, it's, for me it's just a bunch of dog whistles, or dog bells if you wish. It relates a lot to, well, it works like any other propaganda, but I call it the Pavlov's dog bells, because the anti-communists, whenever they hear Venezuela, they start drooling, you know. They immediately lose the ability to think. And now Venezuela is again on the news because of the recent elections, which the opposition claims, unsurprisingly, that they are fraudulent. What I'm about to tell you is that I don't know if they are fraudulent or not, and none of the analysts that I saw really knows. But one thing I know, apart from the minutiae, you have two major blocks. You have the bloc which Maduro represents, and you have the bloc supported by the United States. How very democratic is that? United States, of course, that intervenes and is meddling in a lot of foreign policies of a lot of foreign countries. Sometimes admits it, but officially never admits it. But it's too obvious, right? So, the latest discussions I have been seeing on the media about this election and Maduro is focused on whether the election was rigged or not. And just on that. And then you have, of course, the usual suspects, the usual commentators of the mainstream media, all against Maduro, all saying it's forged elections. And you might argue that there is a possibility of that. You might argue. I do not disagree that there is a possibility. But what you have also to have in account that on the other side, what you have, it's the same of what you had before Chavez. It's the same people, it's the same lobbies. It's the Team United States. And we know what Team United States does to South American countries and what it did to Venezuela. I mean, just the latest episode I just remember, I would have to check some documents now, but out of memory, I can remember under government still supported by the United States. You had Caracaso. You had the attempted coup on Chavez, that he was overthrown for 2 days, and thanks to the population, so a genuine revolution. Well, not a revolution because Chavez was democratically elected, but the revival of the Chavez presidency after 2 days was really genuine popular movement. They put him back in power, and they had placed a president to replace Chavez, which was the leader of the bosses union. So the leader of the bourgeoisie, it's himself, not even a stooge, was the man himself. I mean, there are too many. The problem is that Maduro is not consensual. Even among the left, although he leads the Socialist Party of Venezuela, and a lot of the right-wing people commentators keep saying Venezuela, socialism, that's why economy is in shambles. They keep repeating this, right, to the exhaustion. So, and the ignorant people, again I repeat, the ignorant on this matter, people that do not know about this matter, I'm not trying to offend anyone here, they believe it. It's because it's the same analogy that they do, for example, in Portugal. Oh, the party in power is called Socialist Party, therefore there is socialism in Portugal. The party in power in Venezuela is called the Socialist Party, therefore there is socialism in Venezuela. It's quite basic, isn't it? It's very so, but there is none of that. Venezuela is not communist, it's not socialist. It has social characteristics and social concerns. Because Chavez, when he took power, he decided, he improved the lives of many Venezuelans, and he decided to share. He got a good time when the oil price spiked. I remember what it was, over $100 a barrel. Price spiked, but it doesn't matter because he used that. He had a lot of social programs to take kids out of the slums, put them in, give them access to good education, healthcare. Immediately made protocols with Cuba in order to get doctors from Cuba to have decent healthcare and a lot of other stuff. And if you go and see the economy charts of the growth of the Venezuela economy, during Chavez, the economy actually grew really much, like over 10 percentage points. And it was when the sanctions that Mr. Obama, from the good old democratic freedom lover USA, placed sanctions on Venezuela, that its economy started to contract. And then you have the Venezuela that you have today. They, in my opinion, they killed Chavez. You know, he died of cancer, but very strange. For me, it was a CIA thing. They can easily induce cancer on people. Maduro takes place. There was a couple of coup attempts and overthrown attempts orchestrated by the United States. You remember this Juan Guaido? You remember this sad episode of the European Union and the Western powers recognizing immediately Juan Guaido as the legitimate president. He had no popular support. It was a joke. So much for that democracy that they support. When it was Caracazo, you know, Caracazo was when 400 or more people died at the hands of the authorities. Right? It was no problem back then. And so, yeah, and Venezuela had been struggling with its economy, and this is used by the right wing to say that, you see, this is a socialist model, communist model, it fails. First of all, it's not communist. I'm not going to go into depth into that subject because it takes a little bit of time at least to explain it decently, why it's not communist. And even concerning socialist, you had some social concerns, but the private economy was never put in question in Venezuela by the Chavez government. Never. The market economy, the liberal economy was never put in question, and that is why the opposition still has a lot of power there. They control the media, the private media, and Chavez never repressed them because they kept calling him the dictator. And people here, when I talk to people here in my hometown, they repeat these words. The dictator. Oh yeah, Chavez, the dictator. Maduro, the dictator. Venezuela is a problem because it's socialist. Yeah. They repeat this, right? Fucking zombies. No, I don't want to offend anyone, but I get tempted sometimes. So, were the elections rigged or not? We do not know, but we do know that on one side you have Maduro, which has a lot of popular support. There is no doubt about that. A lot of popular support. So far, it seems it has support from the institutions, namely the military, which is key to hold power. Because if it has popular support, only popular support, but no support from the military, I mean, the United States just plays with them and fries them in the pan. You remember when Chavez was the attempted coup, and when Chavez was arrested, part of the military were on behalf of the United States. But luckily Chavez was hugely popular among the lower rank officers of the military, and they joined the popular uprising, and they saved Chavez, because that's where Chavez were coming from the military, from a movement, left-wing movement within the military. And so yeah, and that's, instead of focusing if it's rigged or not, focus on the major thing, I guess. Focus on the big picture. Like any other country in South America, it's just another country that the United States wants to put his grip on, right? This is traditional. It's not for anything that it's called the backyard of the United States, right? And they will always incessantly try to overthrow any government that does not go according to their decree, which is namely just serve a bunch of rich people that serve the interests of the United States while getting richer, and everyone else is getting poorer. And that's one of the main reasons South American countries are like they are, because of foreign meddling of the United States and forced neoliberalism, sometimes mixed with dictatorships that they support. So I don't know if they were rigged or not, but this is, if you think Maduro is not a legitimate president there, what do you say of a person who is there supported by the interests of a foreign country? I don't know. Some people say, no, she has all the rights. Yeah. But then they go to Ukraine and they say, but Yanukovych was supported by Russia, so I don't cope very well with this duality with these double standards. Okay, guys, this is all I had for you in this commute to work. In a couple of months I'll have I haven't had much time. I hope you enjoyed these videos. I've grown my channel with a multiplicity, a diversity. I wanted to say this just before finishing. I've grown my channel with a multiplicity and diversity of videos. And I've started to do these solo videos while driving my car due to lack of time, because I was doing mainly interviews and live conversations, and I was getting tired. I get nothing out of this, right? I get no money out of this, and I was so it was another job. It was a second job I had, and I really wasn't it was taking a lot out of me. So I have to stop it for a while, or do it much less, and started doing these videos not to leave the channel, keep the channel alive, keep the ideas flowing, interacting with the public. But I know that a lot of people that got interested with the channel due to past content do not like it now, and people that like it now did not like it before. It's like this. I'm not very good at managing this social media and YouTube channels, platforms. So I apologize for that. But there will be, and I also, a lot of people follow this channel due to content that I made exclusively dedicated to my region. The region where I live. Small towns, and they also did not like when I started to do a lot of episodes in English. And it's just to say that I'll keep doing exactly what I'm all the mistakes that I've been doing so far. I'll keep doing them. Whenever I feel like to do a history documentary about my own place, we'll do, because we have those as well. We have podcasts about history, local history, and at least 3 mini documentaries about local history. Whenever I feel like doing an interview concerning foreign affairs like Palestine, Ukraine, whatever, I'll do it. Whenever I feel like doing these videos, I'll do it. Forgive me if it's inconsistent, and I know that inconsistency might be the death of a YouTube channel, but it is what it is. Anyway, I still hope you like it, and I see you on the next one. In 2 months, maybe about 2 months, I'll have some news. Want to go some places.